and we'll just do kind of announce, hey, this is what's going on. Um, they'll be in and out intermittently, but they'll be drinking the whole time.
It'll be spotty. It'll be spotty. But
Right?
hey, welcome to the Beery Traveler. My name is Ian, the Beery Traveler. With me, as always, is Sean. We do have musicians with, but they're going to be kind of in and out as we keep going. We're
So
not sure. They're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I posted a little picture earlier on the site.
yeah, so they're with us. They're working on their tech stuff because they want to do something special for us tonight. And that was up here live at one of the studios they recorded at 1260 Studios, and the band is everything. And we had them on the show as an opener for the live show that we did with Posadist, and there's another band there, and I forgot. Sorry, guys. But so they're back with us tonight to do that, and so they already have the beers. They're going to be tasting along with us. I'm admitting one because I just noticed that singer drummer Evan is coming back on.
He's
Uh,
back. We'll see if he can
is
make it.
that he is
All right. Welcome. Evan is back on.
right? He's in outer space, which is why his reception is a little
Yes.
spotty.
Yeah, that's why. They're 100 miles above the Earth right now.
Oh, good Lord.
Right?
Good Lord.
All right.
Really
We are going to
sure.
jump right into the first beer real quick. Evan, and also I see that is Hannah
That's
on there
Hannah.
as well.
Hey, Hannah.
Welcome.
Hi.
But yeah,
I'm
we
very
are
grateful
going to
tonight.
jump right into the first beer. It's the Three Taverns
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Ukiyo Premium. It's a Japanese style lager. This one was really interesting because it is actually brewed with rice. So it is a rice lager. It's also brewed with a little bit of jasmine and green tea, which is really interesting.
What?
Oh, I guess not. I got some shit on my nose. That smells great.
I like it. It's
Wow.
really like
Very, very light in
Whoa!
color.
It's actually
yeah,
a little green.
it's like
Yeah,
like
it is.
drinking beer.
Yeah, man. That is good. Really light. Springtime. It is, I like that green. I like that color. That's really good.
It's got a pretty little head on it too. See, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get.
Oh, very light.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
man, that's really good.
it's very 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 light. Like it is
It is.
4.25% alcohol. But
It's almost like a cross between a pilsner and a wheat beer, almost.
A little bit.
I don't
Maybe
get.
it's-
I get it's like a very light pilsner. I taste the tea in there. I taste the green
It's got a
tea.
pretty little
I
head.
taste the jasmine. I taste
I like that.
Yeah,
it's
like
almost
that
like a
floralist.
lemongrass that you get on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, that's
Mm.
really
Yeah,
good.
it's super light. Like
Not
this,
bad at all.
I'm gonna be honest. This is like my first beer that I've had in almost a year. Really good. Really good.
Trying to get both of us in the screen, even though my big head takes up like most of it there.
Ah, you're good. As long as you drink it, you're fine, right?
So
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
so Evan, tell us a little bit about the band, everything.
I'm sorry. One more time.
Tell us a little bit about the band.
The band is just two people. It's me and my girlfriend Roxanne, and we started out at the very beginning. Well, we always fooled around before the pandemic, just like playing some songs and whatnot. And just once the pandemic hit, we got together and we wrote some songs, and these songs like really turned out well. And we said, yo, I mean, like, if you really want to do this, let's do it. And so it's been slow going. I think every little venture that we've had has had a lot more hiccups than we expected. But we have persevered through all of that. Yeah, I mean, like one of the the stepping stones was being on the show and just kind of putting our name out there. So yeah, I mean that's really it. Right now, we don't have too long of a history. Like I said, we haven't been together that long. Just really the pandemic, we really put things together. But I think it's turned out all right so far, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, so you Was your official start at like before or after the pandemic? You just said like we're everything, we're a band.
Yeah. So, well, so I'm in another band who's been together a lot longer, and just through coming home every day and being like, oh my God, listen to these songs that we've written, and just I guess Roxanne seeing how much I enjoyed being in that band. I had some like solo stuff that I had done way back in like anywhere from 2010 to 2015. And Roxanne was like, I've always wanted to sing songs and, show my hand as a singer. And I was like, well, I've got these songs over here. Let's just see what you can do as far as putting lyrics to them. And she did. So, I mean, like I said, we played around with some songs between 2017 and the beginning of the pandemic, but nothing really serious. We'd come up with a handful of songs, just kind of playing around at the house. But once the pandemic hit, Roxanne unfortunately had lost her job, but I was able to maintain mine. And so I would come home every day, and she was like, "Hey, I've got these lyrics." And so it really became serious in the sense that we put together an album with about 9 songs, and we said, "Hey, we can actually play this live in front of even just in front of people, and not be a total embarrassment." So yeah, so I mean, like I said, since the pandemic, it's been slow going. We've been able to hit where we can. We played our first live stream back in June, and we did really well, but we had some audio difficulties. And then again in September, we had a couple of other difficulties. So she's never been able to actually like sit down and actually play a show without some difficulties. But that's kind of that's playing live, right? That's playing live. I mean, you're always going to have, you have to adapt to these, issues.
And now with the pandemic, of course, like we're having to learn how to do everything all over again. It's no longer just live where you go out to a venue and there you are. Now we've got to like jump through all these hoops and everything else. It's a lot. It's a huge learning curve.
It takes a team.
lot.
It takes a village.
It really does. It really does.
So yeah, so we've been working with 1260, recording some albums or getting ready to record our album, and we're looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That's a pretty cool jump from coming in pandemic to being like, all right, yeah, we got an album, let's do it. That's pretty cool.
That's the one thing that the pandemic afforded us was time to do that. Like I said, Roxanne unfortunately had lost her job through the pandemic. She's a hairstylist during the day. Luckily for me, I'm work at the hospital, so I had to be on the front lines. But every day when I came home from work, she was available and ready. Like I said, she's like, I look at these ideas that I have. We can actually put some songs together. So the pandemic actually afforded us the time to put together, 9 good, solid songs to play.
Cool. So, very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's move on to the second beer, which is going to be the Seersucker Sour from Jekyll.
Seersucker Sour.
They're in Alpharetta.
This
one.
So right around the corner.
And this one is a strawberry goza. It's 5% alcohol.
I was going to say, just by the name alone, I would expect it to be sweet.
I'm not sure if they are still making this beer and we're getting the last of it because this is a summer style. They say it's like a strawberry lemonade on a hot summer day. So,
dude, that hits the taste buds for sure.
As it says, pucker up, because that's how I feel. Woo.
Quite indeed. But I like how it's not like those sweet drinks that. There's sweet flavored drinks that you may or may not buy at the gas station. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that tastes like a Jolly Rancher. This actually tastes like it's really light. Dig it for sure.
Oh, that's nice. It's almost like it smells like strawberry Pez, like on the nose. Sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's not that sweet, but it definitely has that just before ripe strawberry taste. Like it's definitely red, but it's not quite ripe.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely taste the strawberry.
Yeah, it's definitely like if you were to get a strawberry that's just not quite there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
definitely.
That's good. It's light. Like I said, it's not like a Jolly Rancher.
And it being a goza, so it's also going to have that salt and that coriander in there, which makes it is definitely going to take away from a lot of that strawberry flavor. It's going to change the strawberry. It's going to give you like I would almost say like a strawberry fields kind of, and that's what I'm kind of getting at. Like you're walking in picking strawberries. And
it's not overbearing. It's very slight. I like that.
It's almost like I could associate it with picking just about any kind of red fruit, really, like even raspberries or like blackberries even.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
that's good.
Question. So IBU, that stands for like the bitterness level, correct? Mm-hmm. What is the highest bitterness level? Like, how does that work?
It's just really, it's a number. I would say that you're getting pretty bitter when you're getting to about 45 or 50.
Gotcha.
I would say it's probably, it's probably that 100 scale. I'd have to probably research a little more on what that is, but.
Gotcha. I couldn't remember for the life of me.
This is going to be like 10 or even less on the bitterness on that IBU scale, what I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a 1 to 100 scale. I'm not sure if anything.
It was a really high scale.
I'm not sure if well, like a 10 would be like a blonde ale.
Yeah.
This is. I don't think anything is 100. You think so?
Oh wow.
There's some tartness. I don't know if that counts as bitter.
No,
tart. Yeah, because tart's definitely not bitter. Because
bitter is what you're looking for. That hoppy. The hops are what give you that bitterness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when you get the really bitter hops, like you remember the one that we had that was the last week when it was like almost no malt on it, and it was just really a lot of hops.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was really high on the IPU. That was like 80 on the IBU.
Oh wow.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah, I remember like slightly the last restaurant that I worked at. It was big on wine, but occasionally they'd give you some really good insight into beer. And one of the last things I remember actually paying attention to was the IBU stuff. But I couldn't remember if it went like 1 to 50 or something like that, or way higher. So I'm glad to be refreshed on that one.
Well, the thing with that is, I don't think a lot of people pay attention to that. Really,
no, I don't think they do. But I'm such a nerd in all aspects of life that if I read it, like I want to know what it is, and like I love being able to talk about alcohol, even though I don't really drink it so much. But I like being one of those people who's like, oh yeah, this is kind of what it tastes like. This is what you're gonna go through. And I've spent a lot of time drinking in the past, so like I do have that background knowledge. But there's certain aspects that I'm still like, oh.
What I would say is that both of these first beers are probably 10 or less on that IBU scale. These are not bitter at all. The next one may I'm not even sure what we'll get with this. Sometimes they do put a good bit of hops in those stouts, but sometimes they lean back on those too and want that creamy malty flavors with that. So especially with that milk stout, and I'm kind of seeing with this is supposed to be kind of inspired from like a latte. We'll get into that. We'll get into that one in a second.
Yeah.
We got some band questions to talk over. So tell us a little bit about what you got anything coming up in the future that you're planning out that you're willing to talk about.
You talking about the studio or the band? I'm sorry.
The band.
Right, I'll ask about the studio in a second.
Yeah. So yeah, we do have. Hold on, sorry, I have to fix it. So yeah, we have Roxanne joining us. Yeah, in the future, what we have is.
Thank you.
So what we have in the future, what we're hoping for, I mean, I think we're really hoping that we can get to live shows sooner rather than later. Although we know that that's just really not happening anytime soon. The one thing that we want to do is we want to adapt to the times. And right now, the time is that live shows are really not a possibility. I know that there are venues out in Atlanta that are playing full shows, full on. And I mean, I just, as a medical scientist during the day, I just don't know how I feel about that. And of course, the safety of everyone is what is on the forefront of my mind. And we're seeing venues going full-fledged and playing shows, and the local bands are, of course, recording video and sending them back and playing, putting on social media. And we're just seeing a lot of folks out there in mosh pits with no masks on, and I always said that when you tell us it's all good to play, we're still going to wait at least another 2 weeks. So in that regard, we are trying to be very patient, and we want to play live shows, but we just don't know how much how much there is in the future. So what we are concentrating on is recording and putting out albums, something that somebody can take home with them, something that they can have in their hand and they can put in their CD player. So with over the course of the next few months, we are planning on, like I said, we have an album together. We are looking forward to recording it here in 1260, but we are wanting to do that piecemeal. We want to stay relevant, I think, which is the hardest thing to do right now, especially in the live stream broadcast podcast world. And you guys probably feel some of that pain yourselves. With the fact that you just always have to keep the audience interested, which is hard to do. And so we thought about and so we've been looking at releasing like a single here in the next couple of months, and then maybe a single after that, and then of course down the line in 2021 we want to release the album in its full. So.
Cool. So, Hannah, wait, did she just walk off screen?
I guess.
Hey, Hannah.
All right. We'll ask her questions in a second, or I'll ask her questions in a second.
Yeah. So.
I was trying to figure out what was going on with that.
Right. It's weird though. She keeps like flying back into space.
Yeah.
Gets sucked out.
Into the void. So along those same lines, everyone was talking about trying to stay relevant and do these things. Hannah, are you, as part of 1260 Studios, that is correct, right? I'm not crazy?
Yes, 1260.
Okay. As part of 1260 Studios, are you experiencing something more positive in that more musicians are wanting to come in and record, or is it also kind of a little bit of scraping?
It's a little bit of both at the moment, because it seems like, so a lot of musicians had a lot of time to get their stuff together and get all these ideas together. But, it's still expensive at the end of the day. And so it's kind of this balancing act of getting people in that are, willing to do what needs to be done. And we've also kind of had to branch out quite a bit. We don't stick with just, recording albums and stuff like that. I mean, we're looking into live streams, we're looking into recording podcasts. We really have learned not to put all of our eggs in one basket at this point, and I think it's going to make our studio more versatile. I think it's really cool. I'm really proud of what we're doing. I mean, we're still a new studio at the end of the day. We really are. I mean, we got our business license technically at the beginning of this year. We'll our head, he has been doing this stuff for like, what, 15 years at this point. But we're really just, we're still learning. Like, there's a big, big learning curve. And with this pandemic, we're having to learn even more at this point. Oh,
Right.
here's the.
There it is. If you can pop that background off, it might be easier to see all of you.
Yeah.
We have been ran ragged trying to set up all this stuff, and well, it didn't work out this time, but next time it will.
Well, let's talk about 1260. What does 1260 have to help?
So we're basically a recording studio, a full stack production studio is what I would call it. We do everything from pre-production to your final mix, and we're hoping to get everything in between. We're definitely diving into video, as you saw tonight. Maybe not as soon as we think, but we're gonna get there. We focus we kind of niche down to like metal and rock, but we do every genre, you think of. So, yeah.
Cool. So you said so. Actually,
Real quick, let's move to the next beer.
oh, I'm sorry, Ian. You're right. We can keep talking after we have more beer.
Yes, we have. My glass is empty over here. Okay, so
No, that's fine.
This sounds good. Coffee, milk. This is what I need to have for breakfast.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is a good beer to have with brunch.
This is like my breakfast beer.
So this is from Highwire Brewing. They're out of Asheville, North Carolina. This is a seasonal. This is their Strongman Coffee Milk Stout. So it's inspired by basically a cafe latte.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I think it's.
It's a little hard to see you guys. If you want to turn the background off, that might.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense. All we can see is Evan.
Yeah. We'll get it though.
We'll get there. If you want to see what they look like, you got to watch the post show on Patreon.
This is what you're eating, right?
Oh, that's a pretty pour though. Look at that, Ian.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
We've got everybody.
It's the whole gang.
This is made with cold extracted coffee from Dynamite Roasting Company in Asheville. This is a 5.3%.
Nashville, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like coffee and beer mixed up together.
I mean, it smells like cold brew. That's like all I can smell.
Yeah.
I put my nose too far in the glass.
This is like literally what I thought that the Starbucks like.
Wow.
Tastes like Guinness a little bit.
Wow.
It's literally what I thought.
This is good. This is
Reminds me of Guinness. Oh, it looks like Guinness.
to go back to that IBU scale.
Tastes a lot like Guinness.
I would say that this one is probably in that 40 to 50 range.
Yeah, I would definitely.
I don't think it's super bitter. I definitely think it's bitter, but it's not super. The coffee gives it the bitterness.
Yeah, well, I definitely.
It's not hops bitter.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not into the reds bitter and stuff like that. That's for sure. But it's still, it still has that bit. That's cool. I like this. I'm glad that I learned more about IBUs on this thing.
It does cascade like a Guinness, though. I noticed.
Yeah. No, this one's I've always liked the milk stout. What was the what was the Terrapin? Terrapin had
the wake and bake. The wake and bake stuff that they.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I really enjoyed. Yeah. What was the Moo-Hoo? Do you guys remember the Terrapin Moo-Hoo?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
They still make that. They still have that.
That one makes a really mean car bomb. Really mean car bomb. Yeah. I kind of learned that accidentally at a bar one night when there was no Guinness. But
This is.
I could make one of those right now.
Oh no.
Do it.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna bastardize this anyway because.
Are you guys
I'm just gonna put like a little bit of syrup in there.
Let's see what we got. I'm gonna carb bomb it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Woo!
Let's
I think it'll be good.
see what we can do
I
with
really
this.
do.
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the milk stouts and stuff, they make me, like, they're so much better to me than the Guinnesses.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's not quite so, what is it? Like, almost politically incorrect these days to call it an Irish car bomb. So
Let's see what we can do.
Well, I mean, if you go to Ireland, they don't like that. They don't like it when you
exactly.
when you ask for a black and tan. They're like, "That's racist." I don't know if you know that, but we don't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, it happens. All of a sudden, you can say something.
Do I want to drop this and have
fall
it
down
overflow on my desk? Let's do this over the garbage can. Might be the better idea.
So I forgot the question that we were going to ask next.
It's been a long time since I've done this.
Oh, it's so much fun. I do it.
I made it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
All right.
Drink.
The Bailey's doesn't want to latch on with this one too well.
Oh,
that
stinks.
It kind of curdles up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's not so nice. That one's really hard. Oh.
Ooh.
So,
Well, that stinks.
That looks a little rough, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Oh.
Good Bailey's.
That's bad news, Bears.
I know, that's so sad at this point.
Yeah, that's.
You ruined.
I know. Well,
Oh well.
I can't just say that's like.
Guess what? I have another can if I need to drink it.
Chalk it up to alcohol, like the game. But try it one day with the moo-hoo. I'm telling you, it's on point.
Moo-hoo?
Oh yeah, the terrapin moo-hoo. If you do carbon with the moo-hoo, you'll never go back.
I'm not a coffee drinker, but this stuff.
I remember it being pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. Like, it's very smooth, that's for sure.
I like the coffee back.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, it's got a really, like, real coffee taste to it. Really roasty.
Yeah.
Nice. So I forgot the question I was going to ask before we moved on to the next beer.
Sorry.
No, that's
Sorry
fine.
for interrupting.
That's my fault for being too into the beer, really.
I mean, that's a good beer.
Not bad, man.
Oh, that's nice. I like it. But since you're all there, like in the process of saying you're developing an album, you're working. I assume you're kind of still working with the studio to kind of start putting things together. How often do you go in to start kind of work on stuff and think things out or play things out?
Oh man, so like Hannah and Will alluded to, they have put a lot of emphasis on the metal and rock perspective, but they have definitely not been limited to that. We've seen some rap acts come through here that are pretty awesome, and I say that because there's a difference not only philosophically between genres of music, but also being able to lay the tracks in an appropriate fashion. It's different in terms of when you have a bunch of guitars and a bunch of live drums come through, as opposed to the drums and the basically the melody and the harmony being synthesizers and samplers and backing tracks and things like that. And everything, our band kind of walks that fine line between the two. So when Will and I started working together about, as far as how we're going to write this album, one of the things that we had to consider was the fact that when the band writes their music, they do it through a particular software that is different from the software that the producer, aka Will, would be using. And he came to me and he said, like, look, man, when we come to translate this album from one piece of software to another, you may find sounds that are different and that may be more to your liking. So even with us writing the songs as we have written, we have to remain open to the idea that, whatever we wrote was cool, but once it translates, things may or may not be lost in translation that may make things better or worse for the music. And that's so that's something that we've had to be open to, and to consider that, hey, what we've put into this may not ultimately be what comes out of this, so to speak. So those are conversations that we've had to have about how we're going to strategize writing that album, and it makes it really particular. It makes it more nuanced than you ever thought it would be. But at the same time, that's part of the growing process, and especially for us being a younger band, we want to be open to those options, and whatever we thought we had in mind for these songs may not be the ultimate decision, on how the song is going to sound. And so that's something that we've had to take into consideration. I think that answered your question. Did it answer your question?
It was much more elaborate, but which is fine.
That's probably a better question for a Will, but it just depends on just the song and how much we put into it and how many layers there are to the song, to how many times we have to come into the studio for that.
Well, I think at the end of the day, how I feel is thank God that we all get along, because at this point, my weekends are my only time off, and I'm Mama 1260, and so I have to make sure that these two are always happy, like when they come up, because there is a shitload of communication, that goes into all of this, and we don't and we definitely all get along at the end of the day, because this all takes a lot of teamwork, from what goes on inside of recording to outside here in the living room. Like, we all really work together, and it's really cool, because I remember when they first showed up at the house, and I showed up like an hour late, and everyone's all bonding, and I walk in and the dynamic changed all of a sudden. But I think these two are great, and I think they have a lot of what's the word, talent, and I'm really excited to see. I'm really I'm not one to bullshit or beat around the bush by any means, and I'm really glad that they came to our studio. I'm glad that we have both bands, that Evan's in. I'm really glad that Roxanne's here. I like that we work with people that we can build a long-term relationship with. I intend to send these people ridiculous Christmas cards for the rest of my life. And I want each person that comes into this studio to feel that exact same way. Yeah. I want to build those personal relationships. It's not just business for me. And it's not just business for Will.
Another way you can understand what they're really trying to do.
Exactly. Because music, because music at the end of the day is emotion. It's emotion put into a sound, basically. And so I want us to be able to connect on those levels. So even if people who come in, they don't have the musical vocab, we can still at the end of the day get down to the nitty gritty and figure out what they're trying to convey. And I think it's really cool. Yeah, so there's just a lot of communication that goes into this, and I think they definitely stepped into the right studio. And I'm sure in the long run, we're going to end up, building a lot of relationships. And this is what I want to see here. Because at the end of the day, too, this isn't our home. We have a home recording studio. And, the people that we bring in, I want to make sure that they're right for this home.
Sure. So with that in mind, was talking about music in mind.
Right.
Would we be able to hear some music tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
We better be.
Yeah, I really hope so.
So, should we go ahead towards it?
Y'all want to listen to it before our song?
I think it's what we're all here.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. So, due to technical difficulties, everyone, we're going to have to disconnect from the Zoom call real quick and reconnect.
Can you just connect up?
That's okay. Ian and I will vamp for a few
Real
minutes.
talk.
Yes.
Okay, so you good in there? Okay.
Guys,
We'll stall. We'll talk amongst ourselves.
I'll give you a topic.
Yes, we'll talk.
We'll be back.
Cold War was not a cold, no war. Discuss.
And get ready. Okay, bye.
See y'all in a bit. Bye.
See you soon.
Woo! All right. Oh, they're gonna move the. It's sweet. There we go. Okay, cool. So aside from having a late start, not too bad.
Yeah.
Not that I want to get all meta and talk about the show while we're on the show, but could be worse. The beers, man. What was the ABV on the high wire?
5.3. It's very light.
Oh, it is light.
I think
Okay,
it's
well,
very
I'm
much
just.
about the coffee. I think it was very much about the coffee on that.
I thought I was feeling it, and maybe I'm not. I'm just weak.
You also were talking about your hungover this morning, so.
Well, so every Thanksgiving, well, just about every Thanksgiving, I go to my brother's cabin, and I try to always get him a nice bottle of whiskey. So we're having some Wellers, and then we went to his neighbor's, and he had some Widow Jane 10-year, and also something else. It was a maple cask bourbon, and we killed that bottle, had some of the Widow Jane, and had like a third of the Wellers.
There you go.
And I knew I was tired. I got to the point where it was so late that I was starting to experience the hangover while I was still awake, which was awful. And then I only slept for about an hour. So
Speaking of awful, take a look at this.
that looks terrifying.
It's like
Oh my
it's like all floated and made like a cookie at the top of the.
But it's not a cookie. It's not a cookie. That is no Chips Ahoy, my friend.
Wow. Interesting.
That is. Ugh. Oh wait, never mind. I'm just about to.
Don't car bomb that beer.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But you I can never pronounce it. What's the three taverns one again? Ukiyo?
Yeah. The Ukiyo.
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 Ukiyo. That would make a great sake bomb.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That beer was good. Very light. Very refreshing. Like you could put back a few of those.
I tell you what, if anyone stays tuned to the Patreon, not only do I have a bottle of sake, but I have enough of this beer left that I can do a sake bomb. And I might, if you ask nicely. Oh!
We could.
Ian and I will both.
We could both do one.
Do a sake bomb.
Sake. Sake.
I'm also excited about this.
Chopsticks? Do you have chopsticks? I don't.
Not with me, but I could probably do it with like my bar spoon and my muddler.
There you
Kind
go.
of like line them up on there. It's gonna make a huge mess, is what I'm predicting.
Yeah,
But this is also why I have bar mats down here.
I don't have bar mats. I have a towel that you saw earlier.
Here, a towel.
Do you think
actually-
they're coming back? Do you think they're coming back?
I had no reason to think otherwise until you mentioned
They
it.
just ditch us. Anyway.
F these guys.
Do you want to maybe jump into the first cocktail?
I want to. I feel bad because I didn't realize they were. Well, they seemed nervous pre-show about I'm making it. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, you can make it, and we can talk about it, and then they can just kind of throw it together because it's really
Okay.
kind of out there. Which one are you going to do first, anyway?
The Gin-ger red.
Yeah, they've got that pre-mixed, so they should be able to whip that together pretty quick. You know what I forgot to do? That was the one thing I forgot to do was get my ice. 2 seconds. Let me get my ice.
Will you get the ice? Do you need to follow along with me, or can I start working on it?
I can do that one really fast because I've already pre-made my Gin-ger.
All right. All right, yeah. So you go get your ice. I'll start talking about it.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Wonderful. So the Gin-ger red, I asked Ian this week what I should make or use as the base spirit of cocktails. He said bourbon and gin. And this one actually came to mind first, the Gin-ger red. Partly because it's getting into the holiday season, so ginger was a spice that came to mind. He said gin. It was an easy word association game. And this is where I went with it. I'm going to switch over to the cocktail cam. And 420 is on their way. But just to talk about the cocktail a little bit, what I did was actually took gin and just poured it through a strainer that was filled with like crushed up ginger. And so it's not like steeping it where I let it infuse. It was more of just let's let the gin wash out, let's let the gin wash out some of the ginger juice. So what I got was this opaque ginny ginger, which I'm a fan of. And using that, we made a very simple cocktail. Oh, and I can hear, they're coming back on. They're about ready to play. Excellent.
Howdy.
So we'll make the cocktail after the first song. Hi, everything.
Are you ready to play a song, guys?
Yes.
As one would say, I am ready to rock.
All right, here's everything.
Woo!
All right. We are everything, and we're gonna play a few songs for you guys that's gonna be on our upcoming album. First song we're gonna play for you guys tonight is Gravity. What are you trying to say? Harder to make me bleed. I don't need your help, don't need your sympathy. So loud, you're easily entertained. No longer your muse. Giving back the news. For silence to turn to sound. Searching for some sort of higher ground. This chapter has come to end. No make-believe, no pretend. Never look back again. My honor I defend. My eyes are open. Allow you to have control over me. Moving on, you so just get out of my way. I have found my own destiny.
free. We no longer have control. This is my gravity. So that was Gravity. Next song we're gonna do for you guys is It's Red. I remember a time there were no tears, nothing to fear. You used to call me your princess. Now you just walk away. Guess there's nothing left to say. Silence turns to pain. What happened to our happy home? Did it ever exist? I thought you were my prince. Sweet dreams turn to nightmares. Pain begins to disintegrate, turning to hate. I don't understand. I don't understand why it keeps going on and on. Why it keeps going on and on. Why it keeps going on and on till it's red, till it's red, till it's red. It's red, it's red, it's red.
Woo! All right. All right, I think we're back in gallery view. We're back on. That was awesome, guys. I think they like just totally cut the feed. Or, well, from the feed from that room. But that was great. Like, way to go. One of our friends, longtime viewers, Curtis, was like, "This is epic."
Yeah, I did see that.
And I have to say that yeah, what's up, dude? Nice to see you. That kind of drum solo at the end that Evan hits like do 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 do. It reminded me of Something in the Air Tonight, like Phil Collins, like the beginning of it. So I'm sure that's not what they were going for, but that's what I thought of.
All right.
There he is.
All
right.
So, where are you guys?
I'm sorry. I'm in cocktail cam mode because it's cocktail time.
Yep.
Where's the cocktail camo screen?
Where is it? I mean, it's wherever you want it to be. It's above you. It's all around you. It's right above my hands, and this is my bar. So you were facing me front on, and now you're above me. The first cocktail we're going to start with is called Ginger Red or Ginger Red. I was explaining it to you just before you signed on, or explaining to the audience just before you signed on, kind of why it came up and where it came from. A little holiday, a little fun, and a little basically gin with some ginger juice, just kind of as you pour the gin through the ginger. So the way that we're going to make this cocktail, we're going to put some ice in our mixing tin. La 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 la. There we go. And we're going to get 2 ounces of our gin with ginger.
Which I've already pre-done. So
Nice.
John gave me a way to talk about how you infuse this ginger into the gin. He said to use a strainer. I kind of was confused on it, and I made kind of a cheesecloth tea bag with some diced ginger.
Sounds like what you're into.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of ways you can do this.
I personally like to teabag. So
Yeah.
Right? Well, you know, once and always. So
What are we making?
when you take that gin, we'll make a video later this week, kind of showing you different ways that you could have done it. And actually, I've done it 2 different ways. That's still we're in Ian's way over here.
Yeah.
But this is going to be 2 ounces of gin, an ounce of sweet vermouth, a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, which I'm going to be just handy dandy and not even measure because I'm a daredevil.
Which alcohol?
And then a special splash of lemon juice. Bam. We're going to give that a good stir. Ooh, try to get this on camera as well. There we go. There we go. So for those of you playing the home game, one more time, there's 2 ounces of the ginger gin, an ounce of the sweet red vermouth, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, and a splash of lemon juice. And we're going to pour that right into our glass that's been garnished with a like a big lengthwise slice of ginger that I just cut a little indent into.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get it's full. I got it.
And ooh, we're back up front. Hey, what's going on? And I didn't zoom my camera back in, so I kind of messed that up. But
so give that and there's stir and strain.
There's our ginger red. I'll let you all catch up, and I'll take a quick picture of it over in the the white box that I have right next to me, because that's the way I am.
Did yours come? Mine's not super red though.
It will depend on the vermouth you used. So, for better or worse, you know, if you got like a super whatchamacallit, sweet red vermouth or something that's a little darker, depending on the brand you get, it might come off a little brown, but it is still red vermouth that we used in there. Sure so I think they're still working on it. I'm gonna give a little sip while they're catching up.
We just.
You okay, buddy?
That's where it goes.
It smells good.
Ginger garnish. Look at this. Look at this gnarly ginger garnish I got.
What did you do? So I got like a little. I cut like a fork, like 3 pieces in there, and just kind of winged it on there.
You got sexy glass. We got glass.
Okay, so these are color changing glasses, but the one to the bottom left of woo.
Yeah, that'll get you going.
That will get you going, man.
Look at some gin in there.
That's some nipple.
The gin will get you back in.
Back in.
Ooh, between the ginger.
That'll do it, man.
Ooh.
I like that, dude.
Yeah, that's good.
Wowzer. I'm
Thank you.
going from not drinking at all to like drinking everything.
Wow. This is what I do. I don't mind light cocktails, but when I'm just being creative and making stuff for myself, they're all pretty boozy.
Dude, it's bold. Bold as it's really bold.
something fun.
I thought this was a lighter cocktail too. Wait until you have the next one.
Yeah.
I like it, dude.
There's something about ginger that I just really like. It has a very refreshing, antioxidant sort of feel to it.
Yeah. All I know is the first time I tried to cook ginger in real life, like fresh ginger, it was a bad day for Hannah. I think I grew like 50 chest hairs in a matter of like 2 minutes.
That'll do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, this is quite nice. And it's a ginger red. Is that what it's called?
Like ginger red.
Ginger red.
Right. It pretty much just named almost all the ingredients in the name of the cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing context clues and trying to figure out which one you were making when we first came in, and then all of a sudden you said ginger and then red vermouth, and we were like, oh, ginger red.
Ginger red.
There you go. See, that's how it goes. So we're going to go ahead and make the second cocktail. Of course, you don't have to kill the first one. Please, drink responsibly and enjoy it. But we're going to jump into the second one. Oh, as I mess up my cameras here. There we go. Cocktail cam.
There you go.
So our second cocktail of the evening, Ian said bourbon. I like bourbon. But I was I don't know, a minute after he texted me, I was like, hey, I want to use bourbon this week. I was picking some basil in my basement because I have a green room.
No, you gotta smack.
So I was looking at basil. I don't know why, but I thought basil Hayden, bourbon, old fashioned, tomatoes, because why not?
Yeah.
So we're calling this one the Spaghetti Western Old Fashioned. And what we're going to use, I'm using a nice heirloom tomato slice. You can use any tomato you want. I'm just bougie. So little heirloom tomato in your rocks glass, and just a little press with your muddler. Don't make it all chunky. Just get a little bit of that tomato juice out in there.
Well, and then this one's all you, buddy.
I'm going to take
just a tomato. I don't think I'm going to be
a little slap of basil. Right about an eighth of an inch.
Okay.
That already smells awesome.
So fairly thin slice of tomato.
We're going to get our tomato and our basil in there. We're going to take a bar spoon of granulated sugar and sprinkle that in there. Bar spoon is about a half teaspoon, I believe.
I think I did that.
And then a little splash of water just to kind of help mix in that sugar.
Oh, that matters.
And then top with ice.
Ice?
If you would, if you're old fashioned, get your ice in there. And from there, we're basically doing old-fashioned territory. Yeah. 2 dashes of Angostura bitters.
Which is already added.
Top with our bourbon.
We don't have to worry.
So 2 ounces. 2 ounces of bourbon.
Basically makes you.
Then give it a pretty healthy stir to combine all of those ingredients.
Dude, that basil smells amazing.
No, I need some mozzarella.
It does.
Mozzarella.
I mean, yeah, you can make a caprese salad in your cocktail. Why not?
Yeah, I am all for it. I mean, you've seen those Bloody Marys that have tater tots and hamburgers as your garnish. So I mean, why not some mozzarella?
So let me tell you a little romantic story real quick. So my mom, my dad, he wants a garden in her backyard. So my dad, with his own 2 hands, built a greenhouse for my parents, or for my mom. And so now she has all the herbs that she ever wanted in her backyard. And this basil reminds me of home.
Aw, that's sweet. That's
So yeah.
That's adorable.
I straight up.
Are you guys, everyone have it about made?
I'm just about done. Sorry, I'm the slowpoke over here.
I was just asking if everyone had it made. I will drink alone, but I don't want to.
2 ounces of bourbon on top of it.
No, it's supposed to be.
2 ounces of bourbon on top, and you got to give it a nice stir, just because. I mean, you use simple syrup. I use granulated sugar. Granulated sugar, you got to give it a little extra love and attention.
Well, last time you have a little Cuba sugar at the bottom.
I used a big glass of this thing too. And you said give it a lemon twist as well?
Oh, you know what? I forgot about the lemon twist on top. Thank you.
What?
On the last garnish is actually a little lemon twist expressed over the top. Give it a little rubsy rub.
What whiskey is it?
There we
Your
go.
bourbon that you guys used on this one?
I used the Old Forester.
Old Forester.
I used a C4 from Georgia.
C4.
Get you some C4.
C4.
Get you some C4.
Right there. C4 baby.
Like the first,
Out of Still Pond Distillers in Arlington, Georgia.
Oh.
They don't pay us to say that. I just saw it at the store. I was like, that looks fun.
Dude, I can taste that.
There we go.
That bacon is what makes it.
Yeah, get your twist.
Pretty tough.
Get your twist up on top.
Do much of anything. Yeah, look, this is what the tomato does.
That's perfect. Yeah, so once you got all the ingredients in there, again, you get your lemon twist, a little squeeze on top, hit the rim. No phrasing.
A little rim job. Never hurt anybody.
A little rim job. Never hurt anybody.
That's on all you, buddy. But straight up, old fashions were my first favorite cocktail of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else got it in there?
Whoa. Ours isn't looking as sexy as yours does, but it's working.
Well, I mean, that is my day job.
Yeah, that is your day job.
All right, so that's my cocktails, man.
Fucking A+.
Appreciate it. That's
I think so.
whew, yeah, those are powerful.
Yes, rather potent. Potent. But delicious.
Although I will say,
Thank you.
it has come to that time of the night where we have come to time for shameless plugs.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. So
1260 and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with everything. So we can make it really simple across all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our handle is at Everything Loves You, because everything does love you. But we are also at everythinglovesyou.bandcamp.com and Reverb Nation. Thank you. ReverbNation.com/everything.
Now, we had lower thirds for all this shit, but
it
didn't work out so great tonight.
But if anybody is looking to book the band, hopefully somebody will, everythinglovesyou@gmail.com. We keep it real simple. So, 1260?
Yeah. Well, so, our social, to be at, on Facebook, be at 1260 Studios. Instagram, also at 1260 Studios, yeah. Right?
Yeah, so all across the board at 1260 Studios.
Yeah. Try to streamline it. If you do want to book, you can go directly to Will at 1260 Studios or Hannah at 1260 Studios.
Yep.
1260studios.com.
Yeah.
And if you want to book the band, everythinglovesyou@gmail.com. Keep it simple. So we hope everybody follows us. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, it'd be super awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, 1260 and everything for being on. We appreciate that. We're going to hang out and finish our drinks a little bit after the show. But if you happen to be watching this on Facebook, of course, like, share, comment, let us know that we should keep going and keep doing this. If you're not watching this on Facebook, we're always live on Fridays, fb.me/Beery Traveler. We're on YouTube. Just look up The Beery Traveler, and you'll see the Beery Traveler logo. We're on Instagram, _Beery_Traveler. We're on Twitter, Beery_Traveler. We're on Patreon, where you can catch pre- and post-roll of the show, where we're doing weird stuff, or yelling at each other, trying to fix sound, or any number of other things, and or just talking about the holidays. We're patreon.com/Beery Traveler. Thank you, Ty, the director, for, of course, telling us where to point our cameras and usually other things to try to make the show better. And Oh, also, hey, personal news. I've been doing voiceover ever since, well, more and more ever since the pandemic hit. I was doing it before then, but there's a video game that I'm in that trailer just launched. It's called Encodia, and it's you can find the trailer on YouTube, Encodia the game trailer, and you can hear me voice the dad, basically a hacker dad, in a video game. So check that out because I had fun doing it, and I'm always pleased when people I work with launch their stuff.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's my schlep.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for having us on. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You guys
Absolutely.
love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Here at the Berry Travel, we're always looking for good times and great beers. We're here every Friday night at 10 o'clock. We will be back next Friday as well. I'm not sure who we have. Sean may know who we have next week. We do have somebody.
Let me pull up the thing with the stuff
quick, since I brought it
and
up.
the people. Dang it! Damn it, Bobby.
But thank you to everything for hanging out with us tonight. We had a really great time, and we will be back next week with.
Hold on. Scrolling down.
Buffering.
Enhance. Lars. Wait. 11/27/12/4. Someone put an extra column into my spreadsheet and messed me up. Lars Nagel.
Okay. Yes, we'll have Lars Nagel next week.
We'll be watching, guys.
Yes,
thank you so much.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
We are no longer live. Woo!